Welcome back to They Did What? Your source for the internet's craziest, most entertaining stories, where I go over them, analyze them, and most certainly make fun of them. Today, can I go over a story titled, My Wife of 22 Years Cheated on Me with My Brother 17 Years Ago. And guys, this story is about a guy married for 22 years, just like the title says. At first, thought he had a good marriage going. But then one thing led to another and found that his wife had relations with his brother 17 years ago. And of course, he's upset. Who wouldn't be? But his wife is downplaying the whole thing, his reaction, of course, because saying that it shouldn't matter what she did, a dumb thing 17 years ago. But you're going to see, she isn't the only a-hole in this story. He is, to be perfectly honest, because as it turns out, years ago, he suspected something was going on, and they admitted to some of the stuff that was going on with his detective work, and still he stayed married with her, and I believe in communication with the brother. He should have cut her off right then and there, but because they had a kid, he thought it was the wrong thing to do, and he's had this whole marriage where obviously he doesn't trust her and all that. That'd be a very good one to go over here, guys, to show you. Again, once a cheater, always a cheater. That you catch somebody doing that, something that despicable. Cheating is one thing, but it's with a brother of your husband or whomever, a relative, that takes it to a whole new level. You cannot be with someone like that. All right? And if they actually downplay something like that, it shows how little your feelings and who you are, of a little importance it is to you. And of course, paying attention to red flags. So, starts off, says here, not even sure where to start the story. My wife and I dated all throughout high school and went to college together. We have literally been each other's everything since we were 14 years old. We're each other's first. Married at 20 years old. Smack! That's fucking stupid. Why? I don't care, you were together since you're 14. You got a lot of living to do. You got to save some money, grow up a bit. Build your credit, build your career, all that. But let me guess, love will find a way. And I had a kid at 23. We scratched our way up to middle class from literally nothing. Well, maybe you wouldn't have to scratch your way up as much if you didn't get married so young and had kids so young. It would be an understatement to say that our lives are so intertwined that separating would be catastrophic for the both of us. No, it wouldn't. It'd be hard. It would be something you're not used to, but catastrophic? No. Let's not be dramatic. I love this woman with every fiber of my being. Smack. And that's going to explain some of the problems here, as you're going to see, which makes this betrayal so much more difficult. Fast forward a few years to 2006. Okay, so a few years after they got married, when our daughter is 2 years old. My brother, 5 years older than me, is recently divorced from his wife. He was trying to get back on his feet, so I wanted to help him in any way I could. I offered him our spare bedroom for as long as he needed it. As you're going to see, no good deed goes unpunished. We cooked for him, cleaned up behind him, and helped him get his life together. Smack! I got no problem helping out a family member or a bro. But it's one thing to let him stay in your house. Okay, fine. But cleaning up after him, cooking for him, he's the older brother. You treat him like a freaking infant. Obviously, he's a spoiled a-hole. After a few months, I noticed that he and my wife were buddying up a lot more than normal. I started noticing things didn't quite sit right. I am yada-yada-yadaing a lot of details, but eventually they started texting all the time and talking on the phone when he wasn't at our house. And that's a situation where he should have spoken to his brother privately, said, you're going to cut this bullshit out. This is my wife. I don't care if you say it's nothing. I don't care if she's your sister-in-law. I don't care if we were all hanging out together. There are lines you don't cross. There are boundaries you don't cross. You go privately texting my wife or calling my wife. That's going to stop right now. If we're going to be brothers, you're going to cut that bullshit out. And even if we're not brothers, you're going to cut that bullshit out, or we got a major problem here. And I don't care if this is his older fucking brother here, because you can see who's the more adult in this situation. And then he'd go on to his wife. They were texting all the time when he wasn't at our house. I knew there was something going on, but every time I brought it up, I was made to feel like a jealous idiot. Because you allowed yourself. You allowed them to let you talk to you that way, which they clearly had this guy's number. And also, that goes to show you who they are. And obviously, you weren't a jealous idiot, you were right. After a while, there was little to no attempt to hide it. I went to a dark spiral of depression. The only thing that kept me going was my daughter. This went on for several months. So they're just doing what they're doing, making this guy feel like a fool. And because the wife knows that he loves her with every fiber of his being, as he said right here, she's pulling bullshit. This is what happens when you make your whole world about a woman, or anybody for that matter. This is what happens when they know that no matter what they do, you're not going anywhere. It's unfortunate, but it is reality. That's why women need to know their guy. You cross him, he's gone. That's the only way they're going to truly respect you and love you. This went on for several months. One day I finally checked my wife's phone and saw they'd been sexting. My world absolutely fell apart. Trying to be the bigger person, smack. See what I'm talking about here? He's the a-hole too for being Mr. Nice Guy. I called them both together for a sit-down. They both agreed that nothing had ever been physical. Sure. They looked into my eyes and swore to me that the sexting was the extent of the affair. I swallowed my pride and tried to forgive in an effort to keep my family together. I want to smack him, and he deserves it, but I know he did this because of his daughter. But you can't be with someone like that. The brother is a piece of shit. Look what you did to help him out during his tough times. This guy repays you. He's dead to you. Done. And it's over with her. But because he loves with every fiber of his being, he can't let her go. Your daughter will be just fine growing up in separate households. You can't be married to someone like this. I would not hesitate to say this incident broke my brain. I've suffered from severe depression and anxiety as a direct result of this betrayal. Fast forward 17 years to present day. My wife and I had another child. Our lives are finally becoming comfortable. Life is good. On some idle Wednesday, my wife and I were talking, and I caught her in a small lie. After needling her for hours, she finally admitted to kissing, snuggling, and basically dry humping over the clothes, fondling, sending nudes, and phone sex. So, there was more to it, and she hasn't changed. And this is the woman that made you feel like you were a fool, a jealous idiot for your feelings. And you stayed with her. My life seemed to fall apart worse than it did 15 years ago. I called my entire life into question, including the fatherhood of my second daughter. You're darn right you better call into question who is the parent of the child. She has his blue eyes. I spoke to my brother and let him know that I had my wife's side of the story, but I now needed his. Based on how they matched up, would decide on how drastically I would take this. I used everything in my power to interrogate him for hours. For the most part, their stories lined up. For the most part, huh? There's a lot of I don't remember from both of them, though. I highly doubt that is something easily forgotten. I let him know that we were done and never have contact with anyone in the family again. Well, finally, he's done that right. During the interrogation, I caught them in a lie about when the affair ended. They had promised me that the affair had ended back when I caught them first time 17 years ago. However, through some Sherlock Holmes-level observations, I provided that their affair kept going after I caught them. Shocker, because there was no consequences to them. He didn't kick him out of his life. He didn't at least make her fear that their relationship was over. So, of course, their relationship went on. And remember, they claimed there was nothing physical. It doesn't matter. Well, first of all, of course, there was something physical, but it doesn't matter. You can't trust her in all these years. He hasn't been able to trust her. And you can just read between the lines. He couldn't trust her. This devastated me. I was so fragile, betrayed, and broken, I considered just ending it so many times. No, you cannot. You got one life to live, unless somebody can prove to me otherwise. You can't go ending it just because of some a-holes. But you have to kick these a-holes out of your life, otherwise they're going to keep keeping you in a state that you want to end yourself. And she knew this. They both did. It kills me to know that I was so close to ending myself, and she couldn't keep herself from him, because she doesn't care about you. Fast forward a month. After catching my wife in more lies, her entire story unraveled, and she admitted to having sex with him while she was at a work conference. There you go. He was getting the trickle truth all along. She claims that this only happened once, and it was very awkward because he couldn't maintain an erection. Oh, sure. She says she faked an O, and he finished, and then he immediately left. According to her, they never had any more physical contact, and my brother married another woman and has been with her ever since. I may be a fool, but I am confident that the affair ended about 6 months after I caught them the first time. I don't know if I should believe that she has ever been faithful ever since. Well, once a cheater, always a cheater, and she's kept this lie all this time. She is just a deceitful individual. And now you went through your whole life and spent all this time wondering. It's no way to live a life. The problem is this guy, I guarantee, didn't have the right type of person giving him advice. So anyways, here I sit. I've been married to this woman that I adore for 22 years. Smack! How can you adore her after the first incident that happened 17 years ago? What's the matter with you? Have some self-respect. Our entire lives are woven together. So much so that I question if either of us can function without the other. Smack! Number one, who cares if she can't function without you? Number two, yes, you can. You will be just fine. But you built it up in your head that she's your whole world. This is what happens when guys make their wives or women their whole world. They chase after the guy that doesn't make them their whole world. Come on, man. I'm really trying to make peace with this. Oh, by the way, it says here, my wife is telling me that she lied to me to save our marriage and that I can't hold her responsible for dumb things she did 17 years ago. No accountability. You know why? Because there's no respect for him. I was just young and dumb. Bullshit. You're a grown-ass adult in your 20s. You know what you're doing, and you lied about all this time. Yes, you can be held accountable, bitch. Am I just being an idiot for believing her? Yes. I honestly don't know, but I feel that dark abyss of depression slowly creeping back in the front of my mind. It frankly scares the hell out of me, and I don't know where to go from here. Get some help, man, and not from her. I'm trying to maintain some semblance of normality with my youngest daughter. She has 4 years left to high school left. So my plan right now is to move into our basement for the next 4 years. Smack! If anybody should be moving into the basement to live, it's your wife. But you shouldn't be with her. Dude, end it. Your daughter will be fine. It will be hard, but what? You're going to live there for 4 years like a freaking troll down there, miserable, while she's upstairs? You think your daughter's not going to notice how miserable you and your wife are? That's not going to affect her. It's better you can split up and at best try to do it as amicably as possible. Ha ha. And at least you can start rebuilding your life. But to do that, come on. I mean, as if your wife doesn't respect you enough already, that's going to take it to a whole new level. Living in the basement. Dude, have some self-respect. I don't know if this is a good idea or not. It's not. I don't feel like a man. Well, act like one. I have lost all my confidence in myself. I just feel like some useless weakling that can't stand up for himself and has been made a fool of time and time again. Please help me, anonymous strangers or Reddit. Okay, you asked for help, you're going to get it, and you're going to get some tough love. Stop being a goddamn pussy. Grow some fucking balls and brains. I'm sure you're a good guy, and I get you helped your brother out during his tough times and all that, and you didn't want to think he would be doing certain things, and then you caught him, and then to protect your daughter and all that, you want to break up the family. No, your wife broke up the family. And look, you spent the last all these years, 17 years, clearly unhappy, depression, not trusting her, all that. And then more things come to the surface that what was going on. And she just dismisses it like, oh, I was just young and dumb. I should be held accountable for that. She doesn't respect you. She didn't respect you 17 years ago, and she doesn't respect you now. You're in your early 40s. You're younger than me. You got your whole life ahead of you still. You can live to be 100 years old. You're gonna stay. If you stay 1 minute with this broad any longer, you deserve what you get. Your kids will be fine. Divorces sadly happen every day, everywhere. Okay, and the kids will be fine. You do your best to handle it, but you can't stay with her, let alone go live in the basement. Come on, man. You're better than that. This is why young guys need a masculine role model to teach them about life. Where they can go to, not some blue pill nice guys who say, stay in it for the kids and endure anything, endure misery for the kids. Bullshit. All right? She doesn't deserve you. So you need to get your shit together, go talk to a fucking attorney, find out all your options, good, bad, or ugly, and even when she gets the house and the custody and all that, at least you can start over on your own terms. You have it in you. You have it. Every guy is in him. The masculine guy in him is trying to get out. But And again, he has depression. So yes, aside from talking to a lawyer and finding out his options, get some help. Talk to a therapist, something. Get things moving. You got to be on some medication if that's what it takes. I don't think getting on medication, prescription medication for all that stuff is the first option. But if there's no other alternative, then temporarily for a while under a doctor's observation, let's start over. You can do it. Join a gym, get healthy, exercise, hang around people you can trust, and cut all these low lies out of your life. And as for her, that your lies are intertwined, she'll be fine. Or guess what? Who cares? She shouldn't be your problem. But you keep acting like this, like a pushover, and can't stand up for yourself, this is what you get. This is why I say, again, why it's so important that young boys have the right role models. And in my opinion, join martial arts as a kid, learn self-defense so they can stand up for themselves, because martial arts and self-defense as a kid doesn't just teach you to fight and self-discipline. It also helps build your confidence. That can have a positive ripple effect in your life. But when you don't have confidence young, it goes into adulthood oftentimes, and this type of shit happens. So no, do not go live in the basement. Do not let this shit go. Divorce her. That's what I have to say about that. And guess what? The whole comment section is full of people saying that. Whether you choose to take that advice, who knows? But if at the end of the day, we really do teach people how to treat us. And if we allow people to do this type of shit, there's a point that you have to stop blaming the a-holes, and the individual who's being mistreated becomes the a-hole because they allow it. And we're all grown-ass adults here. That's what I think. He asked, that's what I think. Now, read some comments. They're always good. One guy says, "Hi, it probably didn't end 17 years ago. The cheating may or may not have ended 17 years ago, but the trust died recently. And you won't be able to trust her. And if it wasn't as bad as it was with your brother. The only thing worse would have been if she had taken your dad for a ride too. But you'll never know, and you'll even wonder. You suffered. You thought about ending it. But read these words carefully. It's never too late to start from fresh. Yes, it is scary. You may think you're breaking your family, but you're not. She did it to you. She did it, not you. And you're suffering for it, and it's not worth your suffering. You have to think things through to see that you have a way forward. A way for you to start fresh and be happy, either alone or with someone else. Yes, the problem is this guy spent his entire life with her since he was 14. And he's brainwashed himself and conditioned himself to think there's nothing else but her. There's a whole world out there. It'll take time to get over her and all that, but you will. She's not who you think she was. Your kids will be there even if your marriage ends. Marriage may end, but family does not. Family just changes shape, different boundaries. But don't invest your sanity in someone who doesn't respect you. Be happy, friend. Right, that's exactly it. And I might add, DNA test for his children, because you never know. Another guy says, you can't blame her for what she did 17 years ago. That is the most manipulative BS I've ever heard. A person who is able to cheat with a spouse's sibling and keep that secret for decades is probably capable of anything. I'd rather be single than live with such a person. Amen. Another guy says here, you need to leave your wife and know that things can be worked out regarding your kids. You just cannot stay living in this lie anymore. As it's quite obvious, you cannot emotionally or mentally cope with it. Your physical self will soon follow. Right. The guy spent many times thinking about offing himself. He can't be with someone like this who's going to repeatedly cause him to think that. Rid yourself of this idea that you can't exist without her, that you're intertwined, that she's the part of you, vice versa. She made the decision to leave you a long time ago for your brother or for others. She's been lying ever since, and there's undoubtedly more lies that she'll continue to haunt you. There is no reasonable hope of reconciliation right now. Speak with a lawyer and make your plans to leave. Find a better future, or at least one where you can be sure of those who love and cherish you. Freaking men. So I really do hope this guy does the right thing. If not, as much as his wife's an a-hole and the brother's an a-hole, and it's unfortunate, at this point he's a grown-ass man in his 40s, and he's a grown-ass man in his 40s. If he stays in the situation, he's got no one to blame but himself. He can take action. And it ain't going to be easy, and it ain't going to change overnight, but at least every day he's moving forward to being free of her. And she'll try every freaking dirty trick in the world to get him to stay, because she knows him. She has his number. She'll manipulate the fuck out of him, cry, drama, blame shifting, whatever. You can't stay someone like this. So guys, let's learn from this guy's mistake. That's what the channel is all about. That's what all my channels are all about. Entertainment and learning. Learning through entertainment, entertainment through learning, vice versa. I wish this guy the best. All right, guys, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Let this guy know what you think in the comment section. Whether he sees it or not, who knows? I really wish him the best. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.